Hi everyone, we're getting ready to start week 5. First, I want to thank you for your work so far and the great job you did in identifying new technologies and tools that you might like to use in your classes. Kira and I have some updating to do because I definitely want to make some of those available for our current faculty and make any new faculty aware of those options that some of you have discovered and found very useful. This week we're talking about course format, and so one of the things I want to do quickly is share my screen and show you what we mean by format and how Moodle is set up, and talk a little bit about the course shell and what comes with it, because you will see references to that in some of the readings this week. So I'm going to share my screen, go to desktop 2. So this is the course that we are using for our class. Actually is using what we call the course shell. We have a version that's 7 weeks, obviously. We have a version that's 8 weeks, and we have a version that's 16 weeks. We might even have a version that's 4, but I'll have to check. And if not, we can make one for you. 4-week classes start June 5th, so please let us know if you need something like that. What we did in this class, it is formatted as a topics course, but we went in and we manually changed. I'm going to turn editing on. We manually changed these weeks so that the dates were there, and we just typed those in. Having the weeks identified on the bar helps the student stay on track, and I strongly recommend it because we have 5 different course formats running at the same time, not all at the same time, but there's 7-week classes, 4-week classes, 8-week classes, 16-week classes. Some of the terms do overlap. When stuff is due gets very confusing. So I do find it helpful and recommend that you actually put the dates here. You can click this little pencil icon and edit that information, have it say whatever you want. You do have to hit the enter key on your keyboard to make it stick. You can do this whether it's in weekly format or topics format. The way you tell how your course is set up is in your administration block. You go to edit settings. I always prefer to click the expand all link here because it helps me see everything that there is. And then down just under the boxes where you can add files is the course format box, and you can see that this course is set up in topics format, but you can have a variety of different formats. So the social format is more if you're going to have a club use a Moodle site as a way they communicate with each other or something like that. So I'm going to leave this one in topics because I don't want to get anything out of order or make anything appear different to you because we're in the middle of a class, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. Another function that happens often when people import a course, so you usually will import what you taught last time and then make modifications to it. And so sometimes they'll import it and they'll end up with something at the bottom called orphaned activities. And you can see I actually have some hidden things down here. Stuff that we did before. But if you ever do an import and end up with orphaned activities, this teeny tiny plus and minus sign down here is how you will remove or add any topics boxes that are needed, either weeks or topics, depending on what format you're in. So that's one of the important aspects of having understanding what your format is in, and you do that on edit settings. And the other part of it, most important, your courses by default are going to be set to be hidden. Students will not be able to see them even though they are enrolled. The course will not show up on the student's main page at all until you actually change this visible item to show. We get most of our calls at the beginning of a semester in the IT department because students are afraid they're not registered for the course because it doesn't show up in Moodle. It doesn't show up gray like it does for teachers. It doesn't show up at all. So it's important that you turn it on. We ask that you not turn it on more than a week in advance, because if students start posting too early or start doing things and then you decide to put them in groups, some of that early posted work will not show up in the right group to be graded, and it can affect your grade book. So we ask for you to not turn it on early and not turn it on until you are pretty confident you have everything set up exactly the way you want. And we want you to absolutely turn it on no later than the first morning of class by 8 a.m., but we prefer that you turn it on like the Friday before classes start on Monday. That allows students to get their syllabus, that allows them to sort of make their plan for the next week and not feel like they're 3 days behind the first day that they log in. So that's just a couple of tips that we recommend for setting up your course. So this week, I'm going to try to address several of the things I'm changing. One of the reasons I'm so late, I'm changing the content because I want to address the specific questions you have raised in our time together so far. So you've definitely expressed an interest in learning more about Turnitin and knowing how that works. So I'm going to set up a Turnitin assignment. You do not have to write a paper. I'm going to give you a paper. If you turn it in exactly as I give it to you, it will have a 100% similarity score. It will have no originality score because it will have been submitted before. But what I'm going to do is set it up as a draft and a final project so that you can see how students see that and what it means. The draft version will actually not be saved in the Turnitin database. So if you do have something you're working on that you'd like to submit in place of what I give you, you're welcome to do that, and it won't be saved in their database because I'm going to mark it as a draft and set it not to be loaded there. The final assignment will go into their database, and it will be this document. For most of you, it'll be this document that I'm going to send. The only grade requirement for this course to complete the assignment is to submit both a draft and a final. I will use the marking tools in Turnitin to show you what they look like, but you're not being graded on a paper. I don't want you to feel like you have to write a paper or turn anything in. And please don't turn anything in more than a couple of pages because none of us have time to deal with all of that. So I am going to do a Turnitin assignment for you because that's been something that's been very much requested. I am also going to have a few readings for you. We're going to be talking about, like I said, course format and some design stuff. And I'm pulling back the articles that I had put in the resources folder, adding some more comments to them and specific things on the Quality Matters rubric, which is all about course design. It's what we use at LSUA. You'll notice that the rubric that has the annotations has a big word mark across it that says not for distribution. That is the intellectual property of Quality Matters. As a member institution with an lsua.edu email address or any LSU school email address, you are a member of a member institution, so you can have it, but you are not permitted to distribute it. So that's why they have that word mark on there. There may have been something else, but I'm going to cut this short because I just lost my train of thought. It's late on Saturday. And I hope you all have a great week. I do want you to call Kira and I if there's anything that you need, if we can help you in any way. Oh, I know what my other thing was. I do have cameras. If you are a full-time faculty member at LSUA, I have a camera for you. If you are an adjunct for LSUA, I can loan you a camera. So please let me know if you need that and how I can best get it to you. If I need to mail it to you, I can do that. Unfortunately, if you work at another school or if you're not actually teaching for us, I don't have those to distribute at this point, but you can get them on Amazon for about $70 or at Walmart. So we use the Logitech C920 because it has the microphone and the HD video built into it, so it's pretty easy to use. And some of you have already demonstrated that. So I hope you have a great week. Please let us know if there's anything we can do, and we'll see you online.